Okay, well, I'm just doing the intro. Welcome to the Lobo Den Podcast. I'm your host, Giovanni. Today we have the originator of the Power Open Mic, Chris Damen. He's half Lithuanian, half Polish. We talk drinking, DUIs, flipping not a Blazer, the opposite, the Ford Blazer one. The Explorer. Ford Explorer over, and then, doing drugs.
Yeah.
And then we talk. I am obsessed with X-Files. Okay, Lobo Den.
Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. It's the Lobo Den.
Okay, welcome to the Lobo Den Podcast. I'm your host, Giovanni Diaz. To my left is Chris C. Ferreira. At the Lincoln Lodge, we have the monitor now with the logo here. And across from me is Mark Damen. Did I just say? Chris Damen. Chris Damen Chicago comedy. A legend? Would you call yourself? Local.
I would say stalwart.
Stalwart. What's stalwart me?
You're just a worker.
Okay, I went to Waukegan.
You work.
We had a bad education. We've met a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're a comedian in the scene. Right now, you shaved your head. Your head wasn't shaved, or did you wear a hat before?
I wore a hat usually.
Yeah.
Now I just shave my head because I'm bald.
You look like, what's his name? Tank Abbott. You know Tank Abbott? Remember?
Yeah.
One of the original UFC, he was an original UFC fighter.
I don't think he's doing too well in terms of his body.
No.
He looks
He still fights, I think, but not like
he looks like
sanctioned.
he has MS.
Have you seen Tank Abbott before? He's,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have a type, Chrissy? Like rugged or more nerdy? I never asked you.
I do tend to go for bald guys, and that I'm not just saying that.
Hey. Chris, welcome. So you're wearing a Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I remember, from what I remember you're a fan of hockey, right? You like hockey?
I love hockey.
How'd you get into hockey? You were younger? Your father?
Yeah, no.
Who's the Polak? Your mom or your dad?
My mom.
Your mom and your dad's
Lithuanian.
But from here or from there?
Yeah, they're from the south side of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
They grew up in
here though.
Yeah, in
He
Marquette.
wasn't born in Lithuania, right?
No.
Thank God.
He was born in Chicago. So
How'd you get into hockey? That was a hard slam.
Yeah, I was 11, and baseball cards were popular, and I collected a whole bunch of other cards as well, like basketball and football, and I started collecting.
Did you think you were going to make money from them, or you just enjoyed collecting?
I just enjoyed them. I was an 11-year-old kid.
I had comic books,
Yeah, and I collected a hockey card, and one of the goalies, I liked the goaltending position, was named Chris Terreri, and I'm like, oh, my name's Chris. And then I like esoteric stuff, and when you're like a young, tween, and you're starting to develop a personality, I'm like, I'm gonna like this that not a lot of people like.
Green.
Yeah. So
I never had a favorite color growing up.
Yeah.
People would ask me, and I would tell them, or I told myself that green was my favorite color because, you didn't really have personality, but I liked the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So because of that, I told them. But now that I grew up, it's like, I think about it, I was like, I don't really like green, the color. I hate it.
Yeah. And all shades of green? Or just like...
What's teal? No, my favorite colors are, I like hot pink.
Okay.
And I like teal.
Yeah.
So, and I like a black background that has either red on it or hot pink, like a shirt or something like that. Those are the colors I like.
I like
turquoise.
But
I don't like any green.
Silver.
Look at this. Maybe neon green, but I don't like. This is as good as it gets with green. I don't like green. What?
That's fair.
I don't like weed, money, the color. I don't like any of it.
All right.
I like non-American money. I just don't like. I don't like green. It's stupid. So you worked at Jewel.
Yeah, for 21 years.
So you were in a Wisconsin hockey shirt, right?
Yeah.
That's the Badgers. So I moved to Wisconsin, and one of the things I don't like about Wisconsin is we don't have Jewel, and I'm a big fan of Jewel. And I don't know, you were on the other side of Jewel. Yeah. Did I lose you? Did we lose him?
God damn it. I'm so sorry. That mic is. I don't know what's going on with that mic. It's always that mic.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
You're
like
back.
the Fonz.
That's a Jewel conspiracy.
Yeah.
People.
Maybe
right.
as long as I'm going to have to cut this out, maybe bring it a little closer to you.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah.
A little bit closer now. He died, Belushi.
Yeah, he died from a speedball. How about now?
Yeah, speedball is a mixture of cocaine and crystal.
I thought it was heroin.
Oh, it is heroin.
Heroin and coke.
Heroin and coke, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Have you partaken in anything like that?
Cocaine, yeah, not heroin. I've done opium once.
How was that?
It was real fun.
How'd you end up getting the opium? Was it with a lady, a friend, or
No,
by
it was-
yourself?
It was like the summer.
People, right?
Yeah, friends.
Yeah.
And eventually, you know a friend who knows a friend who knows an uncle that will sell you the hard shit. So,
How old were you?
20. So I didn't start doing drugs until I was 18.
What was your first time? What was your first? Not counting weed. What was your first drug? Because I don't consider weed a drug. I don't know. If you do.
Cocaine.
At 18?
No,
No.
that was 21.
21.
Yeah.
What was your first? How'd that happen? I'll tell you mine in a second.
Oh, just a buddy, like I said. We all like, yeah, we want to do this. And for the longest
So
time.
you wanted to?
Yeah. And then we got an 8-ball. We all put our money together. And
I'm smiling.
they're like, yeah. And then we did it in our friend's parents' basement. They didn't know what the hell we were
Were
doing.
you guys drinking and doing?
Oh,
cocaine?
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Mexican style.
Yeah. And then we were doing it, and you start licking your gums and your teeth. And, yeah, I
did that. Yeah.
I get typewriter jaw. That's what I like to call it. Yeah. You will know when I'm doing cocaine because like that with my jaw. And we were eventually at the end of the night, early morning, we were watching movie after movie, and we were watching Boogie Nights, and the scene where
They did cocaine in that movie a lot.
yeah, when they do and Mark Wahlberg's character goes, it tastes like aspirin. For the longest time, we were trying to figure out what the taste was. We were like,
Yes.
yeah, that's
He's
right.
right.
Yeah, and we were excited about that. There we go. And then we went to McDonald's after that. That was
So you
cocaine.
finally got an appetite because
Oh yeah,
it suppresses your appetite. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like Adderall. I don't like Adderall. I don't know if you've taken Adderall.
I've taken it once or twice.
I hate it.
Okay, I mean I could, it's what scientific cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or crystal. Not crystal. Why do they keep calling it crystal? Speed. What do they call it nowadays? Meth? Okay, that's the proper name for it. Meth, right?
Meth is crystal method, which is like a speed. But I think the original, I don't know. I never tried. Have you done meth
On accident.
on accident?
Because you remember Molly, when Molly first came out, which
Yeah.
is supposed to be a pure form of ecstasy.
Yeah.
Right? Because I first found out about Molly by this dude, Matt, right? Matt would always do, so he was the black sheep of the family. His brother played football, went to college. Matt, his parents sent him away to like some camp.
Mhm.
So when they came to get Matt, I won't say his last name, but MM. So when they came to get him, the camp, the parents hired, because the parents had a little bit of money. They went into his room to like basically kidnap him. And he did some type of drugs, but he was he was tripping or something because he was doing circles in his room naked.
Oh wow.
So when they came to get Matt, we threw a party at his house once. But he was in the get when they came to get him, he's running around in a suit, and they took him to the room and whatever, and he went to the camp, but nothing. But I think he always had a screw loose because my friend told him like when he met Matt when he was like in kindergarten, and he was just there with the little toys. The toy, the little toy cars, the die-cast cars, I forget what they're called.
Like Hot Wheels?
Yeah, the little Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
And he was just like slamming him like at each other. He just walked in. He saw this crazy kid just throwing him across the room and just crazy. So he was like, man, something's up with this Matt kid. So I think Matt was always just like a little bit off. But they took him. But Matt's the one who, he was like, dude, have you heard of this Molly? I didn't know about it. So we tried it. But then it got popular. And supply and demand. It was hard to get supply and demand. It started getting cut. You ever been to Erowid.com? EROWID?
No.
Erowid. Erowid's a website. It's a good resource if you ever do drugs
Yeah.
and you want to do them. It's a lot of information about any drug you ever want to do.
Yeah.
And then they have the part of the website where they go to the parts of the cities and they test stuff. It's like, all right, this is what we recently tested in Miami, Chicago, and they'll show you the pill, like the Tesla. You've seen the Tesla ecstasy one, has a little Tesla, and they're like, okay, this is. They test it and they tell you what's in it.
Yeah.
And by that time, most of the stuff in Miami, like I was looking at the Miami stuff because I was in Miami. My buddy was like, meth. Most of the stuff was meth basically. Because I remember me and my buddy, we were in Orlando because he picked me up. I was there for work, and then I did it, and we started. And it wasn't that. Have you done Molly before? Molly.
Once.
Do you remember how it made you feel? The experience.
No.
Hit it.
No, because I was really drunk, and it
Alcohol's a gateway drug.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done Molly at that time. It was. I remember my arm was like twisted, and my girlfriend
Sweat.
Yeah, he's sweating, and my girlfriend at the time was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I think I should probably go. And then, you know, she drove me home and got me a Gatorade, and she ended up doing Molly that night. And she
After she saw your arm twisted?
No, she did it. Well, it must have hit me harder first, because by the time she got to the grocery store, she was tripping or rolling, as the kids say.
Rolling. That's also a song.
Yeah.
By Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Fred Durst. He's not dead.
No, but his little heyday or renaissance is probably over.
They've made a comeback. Or I was watching videos on them. But anyways, New Year's, I used to drink a lot, right?
Okay.
As I'm drinking the White Claw. But anyways, just one. So I used to be a big drunk, and I realized that you handle your liquor, right? You don't have problems. You don't.
I'm not dependent. Like, I don't wake up and, all right, here's the bottle, start drinking. I can, if I don't want to drink, I won't drink. You know, it's not like I need to, but it helps me with social situations.
Yeah, that's what I like. All right, growing up, so I was just at a Mexican party yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And there's three coolers. The coolers it has. Now there's Trulies, but there's always a cooler with beer.
Yeah.
The cooler with the drinks, and that's normal. But I guess my girlfriend's half white, so their parties had no alcohol in it.
Okay.
This is a kid's party.
Kids
It's a 2-year-old
party.
party, right? So this is normal to have beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I don't know if your parties, was it the family parties, was there alcohol or not? Or at least beer?
Yeah, there was. There always
it's
was.
a foreigner thing. Though.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because her family had no alcohol. And I said, like, I feel like that's a recipe kind of for disaster. Like, you need a little bit of a social lubricant for all these. Your family's already crazy. They're over-dramatic white people.
Yeah.
And they have no alcohol, so they're just going to yell at each other. So
Yeah.
I feel that's the way to go. But no, what happened was I was drinking, and I was like, I'm doing too much drinking. It was New Year's, and I told the person I was with at the time, I was like, you know, I have a compromise.
Yeah.
I recently did Molly. It was actually pretty cool, and I was pretty chill. And I was like, how about this for New Year's? I shouldn't drink because I have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
Because I would go out of control. I'd turn into a whole different person, you know, not Jackal, whatever. So then I was like, I'll do Molly. And then she was like, I don't want to be with a drug addict, blah, blah, blah. Very close-minded. And I was like, all right. So what I did was, out of spite, I drank even more than normally because I didn't do any Molly because I was like, I felt this was a good compromise. I was like, hey, I know I have a drinking problem, and I'm going to get drunk and embarrass you. So I found a solution to it, this Molly stuff, and then I'm probably just going to have a great time. Everybody's going to have a good New Year's because we went to this place called Austin's in Libertyville. You know, it's big. And then I didn't, so then I got super drunk. And then I tried to hit on one of her friends, and bring her back, and told her to come back home with us. And then, allegedly, I kept asking for cocaine, but it was actually doing it as a test. This sounds like I'm bullshitting, but her friend was with this dude who was kind of a douchebag, and he was a cokehead. So I kept asking him. I was like, "So do you have cocaine?" But I'm really drunk, so it just sounds like I'm begging for cocaine. But I was trying to set him up. But that's in my head. You know, I'm drunk. I was like, "All right, this is my scheme. This is what I'm gonna do," and I did Molly in. But anyways, that's not the fucking Molly story. How'd you start comedy?
How did I start comedy? In 2010. I just was telling my friends.
What was your first, or if you're going to get to it, I was going to say we're the first mic, but no, continue.
I first started in 2008 was my first mic. And then once I did it, I didn't go up until 2010.
What was the mics back then? Was that when Lions Den was going on? Or?
No, that
was before me.
Lions Den's like early aughts. I think it was done by like 06, 07. And then when I started, I went and I did a mic in 08 at Chinaski's, which was on Damon.
You know who's hosting it? Who's running it? Do you remember?
Chad Briggs.
I don't remember Chad.
I think he's in LA now, but he introduced me like, all right, this next comic, I don't know who they are, but a week ago we didn't know who Sarah Palin was. So give it up for Chris Damen.
Oh, the Palin time, yeah.
Yeah, it was right after when Palin got the nomination for vice president.
With who? Who was the? Was it McCain? Yeah, I remember.
They were trying to get the sexy vote with Sarah Palin.
And then they made that porno.
Yeah.
With what's her?
Lisa Ann.
Yeah. She does sports stuff now, right? On Twitter or something like that.
I'm sure. You know, she's. How old is she now?
50-something probably. Yeah.
But I don't follow anybody on Twitter, so I don't know like who's on it. I have Twitter, but I'm like, Okay.
I don't have to. Do you have TikTok? I deleted. I don't have it on my phone.
I had
Do you
a
have a
TikTok.
TikTok? Do you have it on your phone? I just delete it and I just reinstall it when I have to upload a video.
That's good.
Because apparently, I don't know if you looked into. Apparently, like you give them a lot of information, or they have access to like you on. They track you a lot, like on your other devices. Or
Oh.
I think Rogue was reading. They're like he got into it, got
Yeah.
high, and he read the what is it? The terms of something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're like, okay, we can track you on this. We can track your keystrokes. We can track you on different devices once you're on it. And I was like, I wasn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of fine print with everything.
You've been to China though, right?
In
Been to
2009.
Beijing.
Yeah.
How is China?
2009, it was very dirty. Because there's a
lot of people there.
There's a lot of people there, and they don't have the greatest of environmental laws in terms of like, regulations. So it's very dirty. So
Did you did you have the food there?
yeah,
Because don't they cook rat?
they.
I think
cook,
Irish Shafir told the story where like he saw like
they cook everything.
that's what I was told
yeah.
when I went to Mexico. When don't eat it. I only had seafood because it's I
Yeah,
had
we're
taco.
we're in Mexico. Did you go-
Tijuana.
Oh, Tijuana.
Yeah.
I'm going to Mexico City in November.
Do you have a friend down there or?
I have a friend getting married in Veracruz, so I'm going to go down there for Day of the Dead, and then go to Veracruz for his wedding. I mean,
He's
Yeah.
Mexican. Or he's white.
he's white. His future wife is Mexican. Fiance. Yeah, the fancy word. The future Mrs.
Do you have a lady?
Not right now.
Did you have a lady recently or?
No, not since, I don't know, like last steady girlfriend, couple
Yeah.
years now. But,
What happened there?
just
Break up.
Yeah, you break up. You get,
Who broke? She broke up with you?
yeah.
Why?
Just change of pace, And you're like, yeah, okay. So, that's about, I've only broken up with like one
I've never
girlfriend.
broken up with anybody.
No?
No.
You've always been broken up?
I don't have the balls to do it. Yeah.
I had to do it one time when I was dating a lady. It was a one-night stand that lasted for like 3.5 months. And by the third and a half month, I'm like, we only fight or we just eat. And
You were like the cartoons from The Simpsons, Itchy and Scratchy.
yeah, that's all we did.
Fight.
Well, sometimes you'd fuck, but after a while, I'm like, I'm just done with this. And then,
Did you took it well?
yeah, like she didn't do anything weird, like, smash my tires, or smash my windows in and, flatten my tires. Nothing like that. So,
What do you remember? You went to Lottie's, right?
yeah, I still go.
Lottie's is still there?
Yeah,
Oh no, I'm thinking there was another Tuesday, Mike. It wasn't Lottie's.
710.
I think there was like they used to have that stuff the tarp you lay down on the floor when you paint, the blue tarp or the green tarp, or you cover stuff up with it. They had a tarp in the background, and I think it was the two Jeffs, Jeff R. Curry and the other Jeff.
Oh, 4 trays.
4 trays, right?
Yeah, that's one of the oldest bars in Chicago.
Yeah, 4 trays. Open. What happened with Jeff? Wasn't he accused of stuff? Or Curry?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Okay, I was wondering
Yeah.
what happened.
I don't
'Cause
really
I
know.
donated money when he was like dying, or didn't he have cancer? Do you remember? He had something going on. I remember I donated some money to Jeff.
I just donate food.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's like, "Oh, I need money." I'm like, "You want some food?"
There was an Asian guy that he wasn't a comic. It made me think when I donated money to Jeff.
Yeah.
There was a guy that my friend was. He was the manager. So my friend used to have a video game store in Honduras, right? So he'd go to GameStops all the time to buy
In
video-
Honduras?
In Honduras,
Okay.
in La Ceiba, Honduras, right? It's on the mainland. So it's like an hour and a half from. Have you been to Honduras?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I've only been to Panama.
Oh.
Yeah, that's about it.
How was Panama?
It's Panama.
No.
Influenced by America heavily.
Yeah, because of the
Canal. Yeah.
Right, so. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So this guy, I'm trying to remember his name, but he was part Asian, right? And he was an ex-sailor, so he used to be in the Navy. He was a manager at this GameStop, and my friend met him because he would go to GameStop all the time to get video games, and he would send him to Honduras for his video game store, before digital downloads and everything like that. So he would go, and my other buddy, my Polish friend, ended up renting the place to him, and renting his house. And I remember one time, quick note, one time he walked in, and he hired a prostitute
Was
to clean his house. So because there was a lady cleaning his house.
this in Chicago or Honduras?
Waukegan.
Okay,
Waukegan, Illinois, which is what 45 minutes north of here.
Yeah.
So then he was there, and she was. He told me, he's like, he walked in. The guy would play. I know you like video games, right?
Yeah. Well, I only play 2, but I like those.
What two?
Civilization and NHL hockey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had a hockey game once, but what Civilization?
I guess it's 6.
No, like what kind of game is that? Is that like an expanding,
roll.
realistic, like was
You
it World of
control your own
Warcraft type of thing?
Excuse me. Oh, burpee. Yeah, it's like you're a historical leader from the past. Obviously.
So you're like a dictator?
Yeah, you can be. Or
But
you
are
can
you democratic, or how's your society? You
My
have your own society?
Oh, I'm a merchant republic.
What is it? Oh, so you're like
I'm like Nestle. I'm just going into different countries and taking their resources.
What, are you trading with them, or you just have upper?
Sure.
Do you have a country, or is it a fake country you have?
No, it's a fake world, but they have real countries. So they gave me Germany right away. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do this then.
But is it set in the current time, or back
No,
in
it goes
the-
from like 40,000 BC to when the game actually stops is like the 22nd century, and then I always keep on going, and try and expand as much as I can.
But you're not addicted, you would say, or
Oh, I'm totally addicted.
so. What do you do with your free time? Like comedy?
I'll do.
I have a current addiction right now.
What's that?
X-Files,
Okay,
nonstop.
all right.
That's all I've been doing.
I remember it when it premiered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the 90s. My older sister watched it. I enjoyed it. I remember seeing the first movie in the theater.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm on season 2 right now, episode 20. I want to watch all the seasons.
Okay.
And then watch both of the movies.
Yeah, they had a new one, like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
All right.
So, because my friend started watching X-Files. You don't watch. You've seen X-Files, right?
I've never seen it.
No?
Nope.
Okay. But it's fine. It's fine. Not
I'm
into-
watching Sopranos right
So
now.
Sopranos I heard is really.
Yeah.
I've seen Sopranos, but when they killed Big Pussy. Oh,
That's
shit.
the only episode I've seen.
Oh, okay.
That's the
The
only
one where they killed Big Pussy.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But look, as a kid, there used to be a show called Sightings, and it was like an also unsolved mystery, one of those type of shows. Where,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Sightings.
It's starting to
It had that
tickle
whole,
us
and
in
it was
that.
all UFO.
Mm.
It was UFO paranormal, right? And I was really into it. Like I was obsessed with this stuff when
I still am afraid of aliens. Like the idea that like I'll just be sitting in my house at night and I turn and there's one like in the window looking at me like, oh, I would have a heart attack and die right there.
because all right. So a few weeks ago, I got into real alien stuff, which was like that guy. What is it, Bob Lazar, who was allegedly worked at the SR, the Area 51 area. So
Okay.
he's a guy who allegedly like actually worked there, and then he worked on a craft, and they were trying to find out what's going on with this technology and
Yeah.
backward engineer stuff. So I got into that stuff, and there's a place called Skywalker Ranch and weird stuff. So I got into that for like a few weeks, right? And then I got into X-Files. So if they were to take you, they do like, okay, my son, I have a 6-month-old child, right?
Okay.
So he was yesterday. I couldn't find his socks. So his mom, my lady, gave him some socks, and the socks. I was like, oh, these are cute. They had Saturn on them, but then they also had aliens, the Greys, right? The head with the big eyes on the socks, and
The quintessential alien look.
yeah. And then it's like I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want him wearing these socks outside the house because in the back of my head, I'm like, what if one of them? That sounds stupid now. It sounds a little bit crazy, but like, what if somebody sees him, right? Or I don't want to trigger. God, I sound like an idiot. An abduction. Because my son is wearing alien socks, right?
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of X. Like, honestly, after work, before work, on the way to work, on the way home from work, when the baby falls asleep, like my girlfriend does latches, so I watch the baby, and if I get him to sleep, X-Files. So it's been it's like, it got to the point where I was at have you've been to Wisconsin, right?
I was
Have
there
you,
this morning.
what were you doing in Wisconsin?
You know Bobby Buds, right?
Yeah.
His birthday's today, and he wanted to go see the Cubs in Milwaukee.
Oh, the Brewers?
Yeah, so we had a night. We went up there for the game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then spent the night.
Was that yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you guys go? I like Wisconsin.
We were just in Milwaukee. Where did we?
Who all went to the game?
Just me, him, and Danny Callis.
Danny Callis.
Yeah. So it was fun. Cubs got their asses kicked, but it's fun drinking with your friends, especially when you're
I like that park.
Yeah.
Do you like?
It looks like a football stadium more than a baseball stadium.
But it's like a nice park. I don't.
Well, it's new.
Do you like Wrigley Field?
I
don't.
I like it for the fact that it's a neighborhood park.
That's cool.
You're not going 20 miles outside the city like
That's cool about it.
But
Do
also
they have a jumbotron yet? Last time I went to Wrigley Field. Okay, all right. Last time I went to Wrigley, there was no jumbotron.
They have one now.
I had to pee in a trough. Do I still have to pee in a trough next to all these men? Or
Yeah.
Are there? I don't know. You can't. So that.
Do it in the shitter. Go pee in the shitter.
Yeah, but I don't want to wait, and usually I have to take it. Is hot dog still there? I don't know. Are you a hot dog person? Do you like hot dogs?
Yeah, no, wait, yeah, I believe he's still the hot dog stand is still there. What, like in the bleachers?
I don't know, because I used to go to his original spot. If people don't, hot dog, he had his spot.
His first one was in Roscoe.
Yeah.
And then the second one was in Avondale.
Okay,
I mean, but
the one before, I would go there.
Yeah.
And there's a line. You wait an hour, and you get the what is it? Like he'd have like venison dogs, and he had the duck fat, or the foie gras. Is that how you say it?
Foie gras.
Foie. How do you know how to say that?
Because the French just give up on the words, so it looks like, oh, Paris, no, Paris.
Paris. Oh,
yeah.
Foie gras. Oh,
yeah.
Who taught you that trick?
Oh, I just watch a shit ton of foreign films, so you start picking up. Plus hockey.
Oh,
I recently
went
learned
to film school. I forgot.
Yeah,
at Columbia, right?
Yeah, my parents were like, "Oh, you want to go to film? Okay, well, go to Columbia," because that was their logic. It was like, "Can't I go to like Indiana's film school?" No, go to there. I'm like, okay. They directed me where to go.
Are you still doing? Do you write? Have you written a screenplay anytime recently?
No, not
you gave up
in a couple years. You need a discipline to actually like wake up.
So you need Adderall, but you can't be creative on Adderall.
I don't know. I've never really tried Adderall.
It's like cocaine.
Yeah,
you could be sharp and get a lot of things done, but as far as a creative, like, I accidentally did stand up on cocaine once, allegedly, and it wasn't too good. I don't know if you've ever done that.
No, I've never done cocaine and then performed.
It was it was an accident where I thought, all right, I don't have this mic for like 2 hours. It's gonna be gone by then, and then I did it, and it was a little bit too strong, and then I remember it was just like. It's not the thing. It's not a performance.
I think that if you're like a rock musician, cocaine would be good. Like Eddie Van Halen, maybe that. But Richard Belzer has a anecdote where when he was really into cocaine,
he was the comic from he had the glasses.
Yeah, he was
in the cop show, right?
Law and Order. Yeah, and he's now retired, but. Back in like the 70s and 80s heyday of comedy, and when cocaine was around, heavily prevalent.
And a lot of unprotected sex.
Oh, yeah.
Before AIDS.
Yeah. He was really into coke, and he did his set, and he crushed.
On coke?
Yeah. And then he get off stage, and the booker's like, what are you doing? You still have like 15 minutes of time. He did all of his jokes in like 5 minutes, and he was supposed to be 20. But he crushed, but I'm like, I don't know what to do now. So
you talk fast when you do cocaine.
Yeah.
Have you ever done psychedelics?
I've done shrooms. I like shrooms. I've had bad experiences with shrooms, but I finally.
Why'd you have? Did you have? Were you in a bad state of mind before you had the bad trip?
No, I would just take a lot and then drink a lot, and then like, okay, this is not a good. Just didn't handle them well.
I got arrested on mushrooms once.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It was in Mundelein I was in Mundelein, and then I made a deal with this girl at the time, and I was like, you guys could drive my car anywhere you want. I just I want to do shrooms because I did it a few weeks before and I loved it. And then we're heading to IKEA, and the cop gets behind her and she starts to speed up. So he pulls her over, and then she had a suspended license. Cop didn't realize she had a suspended license. She gets picked up. And I'm like, they just start because I took it at the Home Depot. We were just at Home Depot. I took it in the bathroom. Then I threw up in the parking lot. Usually when I do shrooms, once I throw up, that's when they really start kicking in for me, right? So they kind of started kicking in, and then as I was peeking right as I got pulled over and I looked outside, I was outside and was surrounded by police officers. But they didn't know I was on mushrooms. They found weed in my car, then they took me to jail and arrested me.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, that was bad. That was bad. Oh man, that was a bad trip.
Yeah, now I just like to microdose. I'll eat a couple caps and a stem, and then just get that buzz. I don't really want to trip balls anymore.
No, I do.
You do?
But I just haven't had a chance now. I want to go in the woods somewhere and trip. I want to do like 4 grams or something like that.
Okay.
I want a decent number because I haven't had a good one in a long time.
Yeah, my first time doing it, well, second time. First time was eating a couple caps, but second time was eating an eighth by myself. Not by myself.
3.5. Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah. And then just drinking. I heard like, oh, orange juice helps heighten the trip. So my idea was like, all right, I'll just drink screwdrivers. And I'm just
with orange juice and vodka.
Yeah. And that was not a good one. I ended up like naked in my bathroom, ripping it apart. And my friend's like, what are you doing? I'm like, just smoking a cigarette as my toilet's all tore up.
Why, do you remember why you were tearing up your bathroom? Or what you were thinking or seeing?
Yeah, I recently read the book Train Spotting. Have you seen the film or read the book?
I know they did heroin.
Yeah.
And it was Guy Ritchie, right?
Danny Boyle was the director.
Oh, shit. It wasn't Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
All right.
Guy Ritchie was Snatch.
Snatch, yeah.
What's it called?
He was married to Madonna.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Train Spotting had the...
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Who is he? Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah, one of the Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
One of the shittier Star Wars movies.
And then he plays the main character.
It's about heroin.
Yeah, heroin in Scotland. And it's very
I think I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just been many years. So.
Yeah. Well, there's a part where a guy's tripping and my brain went to, he starts picking at the wall or something, and then my brain remembered that in the book and the movie, so I started digging around off into the linoleum and the tiles on the wall and ripping off.
You had roommates?
I had one roommate. He said the next morning, I heard a whole bunch of banging. I just stayed in my room the rest of the night. I'm to let Chris do what he's doing. So,
He just left you alone?
Yeah.
I did mushrooms with a lady once. It was for the podcast. And then they went on Facebook and talked about killing themselves.
That's not fun.
Yeah. So then I'm looking at them, and they're like, because we did it together. It was for the podcast, right? But then I was stuck at their place.
Yeah.
It was during the lockdown. So there's no cars on the road. So I have to think about it. I was like, I can drive on certain things. I could drive on booze. I could drive on cocaine. I can't drive on mushrooms. I freak out.
Yeah.
Or weed, I get really scared.
Yeah.
You don't have to drive, right? For the most part, you're in the city.
But I have a car.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I drove here because it's quick and
Yeah.
it's Sunday. So
I can't. I don't know if you've drank and driven before.
oh
right?
yeah.
It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things. During the, it feels very good, right? Don't do it, right? To the kids listening.
Don't do it.
This is a children's podcast, by the way.
I have a reckless driving charge because of drinking.
What'd you do?
I rolled an SUV when I was 22.
A Blazer?
Explorer. Ford Explorer.
The competition, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I went off-roading. Off-roading meaning tearing up a park's like soccer field. And I just cut the wheel too fast and rolled. And luckily,
You had your seatbelt, obviously. Right?
had my seatbelt, but so did my passenger. The only thing that happened to us was I got my finger cut on the windshield when it shattered. And luckily the car rolled on its wheel, landed on its wheels, and I could drive off, and then it died.
So you landed, you 360. You landed back on.
Yeah.
You landed back on your wheels.
Yeah.
And then
drove off.
Oh, why did it die? Something got fucked up with the engine?
Yeah, it was fucked up. And then I'm like, oh, I'm dead. Like, my life's over. So I called my parents, and my parents didn't know what to do. And they called the cops. They should have just called a tow truck and instead. So then the cop comes and he's like, what's going on?
No, you're not at your house. You're still at the park?
Yeah, I'm at the park out in the burbs. And he, he goes and has me do the breathalyzer, but I blow under because this is like 3 hours after the actual accident.
So you're still at the park?
Yeah.
Just waiting?
Waiting. Like, I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but it was a while since the accident. But by the time my parents and then eventually a cop came. Also, this is right after 9/11, so like not everyone has cell phones at this time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of landline usages.
A lot of American flags.
Yeah.
My dad had one. He got one right away. Put it on his car.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was a very scary time until we decided to invade Iraq. So
fucking Bush and his paintings.
Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, look at him painting. Like, he's responsible.
How's he lovable now? Everybody likes...
Because, yeah.
He's lovable, Bush.
That's not fair. Like,
it's like those sitcoms. It's like, oh, Bush.
Yeah.
He did it again.
There was a sitcom, That's My Bush. And
there was a sitcom. It was on Comedy Central, right?
Yeah, I believe it was produced by the South Park guys. I don't know if they wrote it, but I think they gave their blessing, and then that's probably how it got on South Park or on Comedy Central.
All right, so you're in the park still.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the cop does the breathalyzer, and he arrests me, charges me with DUI.
Cuffed you?
Mm-hmm. And you go in the holding cell.
Behind your hands or
yeah.
front?
And then because I was bleeding, they took me to the emergency room, and nurses don't like people who are were in a DUI. No, who are in a drunk driving accident, especially when they're somewhat healthy. You're just wasting time. You shouldn't have been doing anything. But
nurses don't like to don't know how to party, whatever.
They like you if you actually deserve
they like
to be
dance
there.
on TikTok during the quarantine, but whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, just through the power of a lawyer, I got out of the DUI and it was changed to a reckless driving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the lawyer was like, he never saw you in the car, so how can you be drunk and driving? You're doing
lawyer stuff.
Lawyer stuff.
Good. I've seen it happen. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so eventually, what could have been a $50,000 lawsuit, eventually just paid $1,000, probably whatever lawyer fees my dad shilled out at the time, and then you're like, all right, cool. But now I'm freaked out about parallel universes, because that means there's one universe that I didn't survive that, or my friend didn't survive.
Are you into simulations?
I don't know.
Like we might be in a simulation type of thing? No.
I mean, it's weird.
Remember Quantum Leap?
Yeah.
With Scott Bakula, right?
Yeah. The guy died.
Scott Bakula's dead?
Not Scott Bakula, but his...
the guy.
Yeah, he died within a year from...
The show?
The past year. No, I mean, within the past year he died. I remember seeing that on the internet. But yeah, I never got into Quantum Leap when it was happening because I
saw reruns. I was too young, but
yeah,
I was really into Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Do you remember Quantum Leap, Chrissy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Scott Bakula would go to different, and he had to fix something, and he had to keep fixing. Did he ever go back to his own place at the end? I forgot.
I don't know.
All right,
I just remember he was he had to let Kennedy get assassinated or something. When what?
Wait, that was his mission, was to let him
get assassinated, because he couldn't alter the future.
Oh,
yeah.
You have to keep it the same, right?
Yeah.
Like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
With Ashton Kutcher.
Mm-hmm.
He did something, and then that girl became a meth head or something like that. Or Back to the Future 2, where Biff I've heard this talked about before, but I was just watching You've seen the Back to the Future movies, right? In Back to the Future, so basically he goes back, and then his mom's there, and there's a guy, Biff, who basically tries to rape.
He was the bully.
Yeah, and he tries to rape his mom in the car.
Yeah.
And he comes, and the dad stops it. But then later in the future, the dad hires Biff to clean his car. The man who was raping his wife, or trying to rape his wife, is now just cleaning his car. I don't know. It just...
Yeah.
Is it the 80s thing, or what?
80s logic is not... It's for the 80s. You look at, like... I have... People don't like the Revenge of the Nerds, like the original one.
With Booger. Yeah,
with Booger and Ogre and all them. All the cool kids. And I understand why,
I haven't seen him in a while, but I remember.
But like when you like
nerds,
there's
nerds.
the rape scene. I'm like, yeah, but in 1980s mentality, they're thinking that's romantic in the essence that like the guy's paying attention.
Oh,
the guy is paying attention. The nerd is paying attention to the woman, and eventually like, oh yeah, I'm finally getting some attention. So she liked it, you know. It's like, of course it's wrong, but in 1984, the screenwriter's thinking like, you know what, this is kind of romantic for a nerd, you know.
Well, I remember. What was the scene? I don't remember.
The guy is wearing basically was it Lewis or Gilbert? Lewis is the Carradine, and Gilbert is Anthony Edwards. Right?
The main guy was the guy with the glasses and the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's two guys. They both have glasses, but the blonde and then the brunette, I guess. The blonde is Anthony Edwards. Is he Anthony or he's the dude that was on ER?
Okay.
And
yeah, I remember him. He was.
And then Robert Carradine is just one of the
nerdier
Carradines.
ones. He looks a little bit nerdier. That
yeah.
Oh, he has the laugh, right? The nerd laugh. I can't.
But you know he's in love with the hot, you know, sorority sister, and they the QB boyfriend is ignoring her, so she's all horny.
He's the guy from Married with Children, right?
Yeah, he's
the neighbors.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Jefferson Darcy, because then she becomes Marcy Darcy.
Yeah, she had the lesbian haircut.
Yeah, but then the jock boyfriend just ignores his girlfriend, so then the nerd dresses up. Uses the jock's costume because they're all wearing costumes at the fair, and he dresses up as the boyfriend. They have sex, and then afterwards, like, oh, I had, you know, I was nailed by a nerd, and she's like, oh, I liked it though, you know. It's like it's very, you know, heterosexual male dominant fantasy, but in 1984, the guy's like, yeah, this is romantic, you know.
I didn't do that once, but one time I was really drunk, and me and my friends ended up at this girl's apartment in the city.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things, I don't like the city, right? I'm from the suburbs. I like the suburbs. And one of the things I didn't like about the city is we're in an apartment, she had no AC. And I don't know if this is common, people not have AC in the city, or...
If they don't have an AC unit, they probably don't have AC.
Yeah. And I don't know. Maybe she just couldn't afford, because you could put the window unit in, right? I don't know. It was very hot in her apartment, and I was very drunk. This one I drank a lot, so I was at the bottom of the bed, and then I started. I was like, "Hey," and I'm saying to my buddy, I was like, "Hey," you know, and she hears me. I was like, "Hey, you know what? It's dark." I was like, "Let's switch. You start having sex with her, and then pretend you're going to the bathroom, and then switch, and I'll go there." And she's listening to me. She's laughing. And then I get up and I go to her bookshelf, and I'm naked, and I'm going through her books. And I go and take a shower because I'm really hot. But I remember it was, I feel because, I don't know, people like me. And I think people could tell I don't really mean any harm. But she's laughing on the bed. So it was cute, I guess, because I was just really drunk. Obviously nothing's going to happen. But then I remember I see her at a bar a few years later. And, you know, I would think she would be... you know, would want to stay away from me. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't. You were at my apartment. That was so funny. That was awesome." And I was like, I don't know. That was kind of, I guess. But
you didn't do anything.
No, just dropped her books.
Yeah.
I was looking at her books. I was criticizing. I was throwing them on the floor. Then I took a shower, and then we left. But I think I was in really good shape because my friend I think I was walking around naked, and my other friend recorded me. Yeah. And he had that video on one of his computers, and he's like, "Giovanni, And I was working away. He's like, dude, I wish. A few years later, he's like, I wish I still had that video because I think it was the best. You should have seen your body. Like, it was in the best shape I was in. So then
You're probably 25.
Yeah, right around 25.
Because that's the peak of the male body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 30 for MMA fighters, right?
Really?
Isn't it?
Well, they're also a different breed unless they're a big giant
I thought it was
heavyweight.
30, like right at the peak.
Maybe for fighting if you train your body, but I've been told the 25 is like, all right, like pretty much like this is what it's going to be like.
But there's something, I forgot what it is, but something in the that we have. I don't know if it's just testosterone or certain chemical that we have a lot, and it kind of goes away at around 25.
Yeah.
But from 18 to 25, we're the most of it. We're the most violent. Like if I think 90% of crimes would stop if males from 18 to 25 or 23 were locked up. That'd be it.
Yeah.
That's where all we have something in us for, I don't know.
Yeah. I believe it.
Did you see Tango and Cash? What movies do you like? Do you like those?
I like a lot of films. I can't really say like, well, I just like drama or not drama, but like I only like I don't know.
Did you see Prey?
No, I haven't seen Prey,
Okay,
but it's
okay.
the prequel to
Predator.
Yeah.
Did you like Predator 2?
I haven't seen it since it came out.
What's your favorite Die Hard?
The first one.
I actually like With a Vengeance a lot.
Is that the one with Sam Jackson?
Yes.
All right.
Where he's Jesus.
Yeah.
And he's like Jesus, and it's like he said, "Hey Zeus." My name's not fucking Jesus. I'm not Puerto Rican.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Die Hard's good. I do like those. I grew up with 80s action flicks. Remember American Ninja?
Yes.
I love that.
I wanted to be a ninja.
Yeah, I think every little kid in the 80s.
I had my dad buy me Ninja Stars at the discount mall here in Little Village. Because we go once a month in a Chevy S10, and we go 4 deep. And there was no back cabinet. Just stuffed me and my sister in the back.
Yeah.
So my dad had those little rims on it, like the lowrider rims, and we'd go once a month to the discount mall. And then he would buy me switchblades and a Kubotan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what a Kubotan is. It's a piece of metal like this big. It looks like I wouldn't say a skinny dildo, but it's really to hit somebody with it and not decapitate it. It just hurts a lot. It just hurts somebody.
Yeah.
To a self-defense too. So I had that. I had a butterfly knife.
Yeah, but my sister had a butterfly knife. That was cool.
She was older than you?
Yeah, she's 8 years older than me. So
She a lesbian?
No.
How'd she end up with a butterfly knife?
She was a teenager in the
What kind
80s.
of lady was she? She a tomboy, or how'd she?
No,
Did you have a butterfly knife? It just doesn't seem something a girl would want. Why? Tell me about your sister.
She's just
She rugged?
No. Now she's artistic. She not draws, but writes a lot. She's like she likes ghost stories and vampire stories.
Scary stories, those books.
Yeah. But now she's also a mom, so she does like really into being a mom, making sure kids have everything, you know.
The ghosts don't take them away.
Yeah.
So I was watching Sightings, and there was an episode about, I don't know if it was the Jersey Devil or the Devil, but I convinced myself that there could have been because I used to live right by the woods. And I convinced myself that there was a devil outside the house. My dad gave me guns when I was very young, 12.
Like BB guns or real?
I used to have a bit about this, but my dad gave me a Tech 9 pistol.
Okay.
Loaded, and he gave it to me. He's like, keep this under your bed or under your pillow. And then
Like what? When you were 8?
12.
12?
Like 12 years old. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and then I remember I got it, put it on my pillow. I was like, all right, cool. And it was like, all right. Didn't think anything of it. When I found out it wasn't normal was I was talking to Jim Gaffigan. And I think he did a fill-in spot. Not Jim Gaffigan. Jim Flanagan.
Yeah.
Sorry. Flanagan did a spot at Rosemont. He headlined, during the week they needed a headline or somebody canceled. So he did a spot. I went to go see him. We're talking after. You ever done that with a vagina? Just tap it. But anyways, I'm talking to him about the Tech 9 story, and I'm like, I forgot we're talking about her parents, and he's just kind of looking at me, and then I was like, like I said, it was like it's in my bed, but I realized by the look, I was like, oh, it's not normal, and I never thought about it as not normal until I saw that look on his face, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
And he's like, you have a bit about this? Like, no. I was like, why would I have a bit? In my head, it's like, why would I have a bit? It's just my dad gave me a Tech 9. He's It was normal because he gave me all these. There was a shotgun. There was AK-47 he had under his bed, and then he just like, oh, here are where the guns are. These are where they're yours, and he gave me the Tech-9. And I was sitting there with a shotgun in my living room, thinking about the devil or the Jersey Devil. Even though we're in Illinois, I don't know why the Jersey Devil would be outside, but it was me watching sightings, freaking out. But then but nothing ever happened with the pistols and guns. But my dad's in Mexico now. He got deported.
Oh, well.
For a gun.
For a gun. Well, that's why he was giving you the guns. He didn't want to get deported.
Well, at the time, I'm like, why is he giving... Now that I'm older, I was like, he was... Okay, my dad was involved in shady stuff.
Yeah.
And just in case anybody ever came to the house or something happened...
It's the kids.
Yeah, I give him... But I feel like, I mean, maybe we should go to the range or show me how to... Maybe
use
safety.
These? Yeah.
And I knew about the safety stuff. I like... Eventually, I was in JROTC, and they taught me this because I was in the rifle team for like a year, but I quit because practice was at 6 in the morning every day. Because varsity got, or 7 or something, because varsity got after school practice.
Yeah.
Because we had a shooting range in Waukegan, and then us, the JV, had to go early. Before class.
Yeah.
So that I quit.
Makes sense.
You shot a gun?
Yeah, I've shot a gun. I have my buddy Scott down in Georgia. He's like, you want to go shooting? Yeah. So we, every other place in Georgia is nothing but woods. So we're just out in the woods shooting at a random tree. So.
Do you like greens, southern food?
Yeah, no.
Pig feet?
Not that type of pig feet. Like pickled, I wouldn't eat.
No, mine was. I went to a buffet. I think Macon, Georgia, like the last town before Florida. They have I used to have a boss I would go to Florida with. He would drive to Florida because he was about 500 pounds. So he couldn't really fly. So I'd drive down with him, and then we'd stop at Cracker Barrels. That's the first time I've been there. You've been to Cracker Barrel, right?
Yeah, it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we would go to Cracker Barrel, and then he would. That's when I realized why this guy's so big. Because I remember he. Do you eat fries with ketchup or anything?
Yeah,
French
I try
fries?
not to, but I have.
Okay.
I do, yeah.
So we're eating. I went to he got a whole fried chicken, and I saw his fries, and instead of putting ketchup on it, he was just putting butter on all his fries, like almost like a stick of butter. And I was like, oh, this is why he's so big, because he eats like that.
Yeah, he has no discipline. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to curb my eating habits. Not eat beef all the time and eat more greens.
Maybe you could eat more beef, maybe less bread. Do you eat bready stuff?
Yeah, I'm Eastern European, so I love bread. So.
Oh, Lithuania, right? You've been in Lithuania?
I was there.
Are there vampires there?
Is that Romania? Russia? No, yeah, Romania is the where Dracula's from. So.
All right, I was watching X-Files, and there's an episode, a vampire episode, but there's a cool thing about it. I don't know why I'm saying this is probably not entertaining or funny, but I just want to show you how much I love X-Files. So they're there, and then they're at a nightclub, right, where the vampires go and meets a chick or whatever. Yeah. And then that first scene when they go into the nightclub, there's a wall, and guess who's on the wall? There's a painting of a guy. Guess who it is?
Was it Putin?
Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wasn't he? He's the loosely based on the original Dracula.
He's the source material for Dracula.
You know Vlad, right? Isn't he related to the prince of the people in what's that British place? England?
I don't know about that.
Huh?
I don't know his lineage. I just know that he was a very ruthless king.
He was a king of Romania.
Yeah,
and he would impale you, right? So he'd put you on through the anus. Or just through the bottom of your body, and they put you on the.
However, they probably could stick you. They would stick you. Mm-hmm. Back then they were ruthless. So,
what are Lithuanians known for? Are you guys known for something?
They're known for basketball. They're good at basketball, but also, they were the first nation to break away from the USSR. So.
Oh, you guys were part of the Soviet bloc?
Yeah. So, they were the first. And then them and the Ukrainians are the only ones after World War II to actually have a civil war against the Russians, to stay away, to remain independent. But Russia has, they have a very good technique of just throwing more bodies at bodies.
Yeah, Russia, they have Putin now. Who was that one guy who killed a lot of people?
Stalin.
People don't really talk about his body count, right?
No, he's
They talk about Hitler, but then Stalin was
because
like...
Stalin was our ally during World War II. So, but
wasn't he like close to 60 million? I forgot what his body count was.
it was 50 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
More than what Hitler's Nazi Germany is attributed.
Because he starved a lot of his people, right?
Starved a lot. He just mass deportation.
He had a mustache.
He had a mustache. He was from Georgia. His real name is I forget what his real name, but basically his name Joseph Stalin translates as Joseph Steele. It's a pseudonym.
Oh, Ken Steele, remember? Did you ever do one of his shows?
No, I never did one of his.
He moved to LA and does pornography now.
Well, good for him.
Shout out to Ken Steele.
Yeah.
That was one of my first shows I ever did. We're running out of time. Do you have any last words and then plugs?
Any last words? Just come to Power Hour on Fridays at the American Legion at
It's one of the
Bucktown.
oldest running mics in Chicago, right?
Yeah, we've been around since
Formerly
23.
at Gallery
Formerly
Cabaret.
Gallery Cabaret, and then formerly at North, but now we're at the American Legion in Bucktown.
In Bucktown. And then basically there's a drinker and somebody on a drinker and the piano is the...
Yeah,
Did New York, did you guys sanction the New York Power Hour?
Yeah, we let...
Okay, they didn't steal it, right?
Yeah.
It was sanctioned by you guys?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Amy Schenker got my blessing.
Okay.
And then Amanda Lindell got my blessing for Portland, Oregon, which I'll be in the first week of...
Did you start
September.
Power Hour?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We have origin story.
Yeah, the originator.
The original Power Hour.
Yep.
So have you been to Power Hour? You know the theme? You do your mic. As you're doing the mic, there's one drinker.
It's like drunk Ed McMahon.
Yeah. You got a drinker to your left on a secret microphone, and then they get... God damn it. I forgot. I got to ask you some good drinker. You got a quick drinker story? Somebody getting out of control or no?
Yeah, my buddy John ended up setting fire to the American flag. And then it's like, all right, don't do that. And then he did it again the next year. So he started to do it.
Which John?
Marjalewski.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen it. Bald head. Kind of.
Yeah.
I saw him for the first time at that mic that shut down in Humboldt Park. The Great Divide open mic.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
a long time ago.
And then what's his name? That Mexican dude told me I stole a joke or something. The guy. He was Argentinian or something. I think he did coke and moved to L.A. Willie something.
Oh, okay.
He didn't say I stole a joke, but it was a similar theme.
Yeah.
Aliens and aliens.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have a joke like that. It was parallel thinking, but...
It's always parallel. I mean, not always, but
I've seen
most of the time it's parallel thinking. It's like, no, I got this joke about the supermarket. It's like everybody has experiences with the supermarket.
But yeah. Social media plugs?
Just Chris Damen 79 at whatever, I don't know.
Instagram.
It's not that hard to find me, you know.
Chris Damen.
Yeah.
All right. So follow the Lobo Den Podcast on Instagram. Follow the Lobo Den group on Facebook, but only follow it if you're into disgusting memes. And then follow Patreon, Lobo Den, and then go. There's something else. Oh, yeah. YouTube, click the link. Tell a friend. DM me. I got stickers. I need to get rid of the stickers because these stickers don't say podcast on it, but I forgot. I used the wrong logo, so I got to get rid of these before I print new ones. And again, Chris Ferreira at the Lincoln Lodge. Thank you for the White Claw.
Thank you.
I'm going to go eat. Not eat my baby. I'm going to go eat, see the baby, and watch X-Files on the hotel home. All right. Lobo Den.
Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. Lobo Den, Lobo Den, Lobo Den. It's the Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den. It's the Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den. Lobo Den. It's the Lobo